Welcome to Generational Differences with Beckham and Brett. So would he need a therapist to become a therapist? That's my next question.
He has therapy. He needs therapy. But in Spider-Man 2, he got over therapy and yeah.
All right. There's no wrong answers. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here too. So,
I'd say Joker would be a good therapist.
why are you picking all the ones that are actually dysfunctional? Like they communicate dysfunctionally. They're like, oh, they'd be a good therapist. One guy like covers up all of his trauma by joking and like clowning around, and the other guy is like literally the Joker.
He's literally insane.
Yeah. All right. We are back for episode 8 this time. And we've decided to do 20 questions for Beckham. Beckham has not seen these questions yet, so they're going to be like off the cuff answers.
I'm going to be surprised and weirded out.
I don't know if you'll be weirded out, but you'll be surprised and you'll think about it.
Okay.
You have to give thoughtful answers. They're going to be all over the place, all right?
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm going to dive right into it. Question number 1. If you get out of the shower clean, how does your towel get dirty?
You know, because it's probably been on your body, which is kind of disgusting, so people might want to wash it.
But you just washed your body with soap.
Doesn't matter. It's still gross if somebody else touched it with their entire body.
But is it dirty?
No, it's just a feeling.
I mean, you don't wash the towel. You don't need to wash the towel. The towel washes you, right?
No, it dries you.
Oh, so you don't
From
dry
washing.
the towel? Oh.
You know the washer and dryer? The towel is the dryer.
Right, so it means it's already clean because you wash it with your body, right? You get kind of semi-soapy water all over the towel.
This actually hurts my head, but you actually have a good point. But yeah, no, there's body soap, which cleans oils off your body and stuff. And then there's just Clorox and all the other brands that actually wash clothes to get germs and like stuff off of it and like gunk. But if it doesn't really have gunk, then what's the idea? Also smells the other thing. Nobody wants to smell an old towel. It smells gross.
Really? What's an old towel smell like?
No. I don't know what an old towel smells like. Don't walk up to people and
if you had to relate what an old towel smelled like, what does it remind you?
It would probably smell like a wet dog that also just went into mud before that.
So you still haven't answered the question, how does the towel get dirty?
It doesn't get dirty.
But then why do you wash it?
For the feeling of pleasure. Still wash your towels. I'm not saying that you don't wash your towels. Still wash your towels.
I think you're right, though. I think if we had to like answer that, there's probably body oils, like you were saying.
Yeah, because your body's always making sweat.
Okay, question number 2. What do you think of the witch in Minecraft?
Okay, viewers. This my dad turned into a joke because we were playing Minecraft and I got killed by a witch. And I said, I hate this seed. I got killed by a witch. And basically it's supposed to be funny because he was filming it and stuff. And I was at him because he was filming, so yeah, I don't like the witch. And whenever I see a witch, it always brings me back to that moment, and I hate it.
What's a seed?
It's a string of code and generation that basically determines of what Minecraft world type it'll be like, because all Minecraft worlds are different. So you kind of have to, it generates differently, and that's the IP of the of the world, basically. It's like it identifies the world. And every one's different, except if you put in the same one, then it's the same world. So that's how they work. Seeds. That's how they work. Kind of like planting seeds. Apple seeds plant apple seeds. Pumpkin seeds plant pumpkin seeds. So imagine every string of numbers is a different type of seed. Like, that's its name, and that's what it'll make. So that's how I answered your question, Dad.
So, since your blow up with the witch from Minecraft, have you guys repaired your relationship?
No! No.
Have you tried to talk to her? Or him? I guess he would be a warlock if he was a
No, he'd be a wizard.
wizard. So, have you and the witch, have you talked to her? You guys tried to repair?
No, because then she'll go, humph, whenever she sees me.
What's that again? What does she do?
That's all she says. She humps me.
Doesn't she throw stuff at you too?
She does. She throws painful potions and heals herself. It's annoying.
I mean, I think you should try and go and, fix that relationship.
I've tried, and she kills me every time.
Okay. Next question.
Moving on.
Moving on. Is cereal a soup?
Why are you answering these questions that bugs everybody and divides everybody? And then some just personal questions? I'd say soup has to have water in it. That's basically the base of every soup. Like, you have to have the broth be a water, some kind of like thing mixed in with water. That's the soup base.
But isn't milk mostly water?
No, it isn't, because whenever you drink it, it's not as refilling of the water thing. It doesn't refill you as much as water, so I wouldn't say that cereal's a soup.
How is milk a liquid without any water in it?
It just has to be separated molecules bouncing around. That isn't lighter than air, may I add, or else it'd be a gas.
So is chicken broth water?
Chicken broth is chicken extract mixed with water.
Isn't, like, milk just calcium mixed with water?
No, it's calcium and other things, but other than that, no, it's mostly not water. If you drank it, it would be the same. It wouldn't be the same amount, but it'd be enough refreshing for a baby to drink it while satisfying. I'd say milk's a food for a baby cow.
But if you remove the water from milk, then don't you get a solid like cheese?
See, you do actually. That is correct.
So,
But that's what they call whey.
but that begs the question. When you dehydrate the water or dehydrate the milk
It has
You
to
get-
coagulate.
and
It
it
has
turns
to
into whey
coagulate
or
into
milk.
beets.
So what's the difference? So what happens when you boil off all the water from chicken broth? What's left?
You get the chicken extract.
So is cereal a soup?
No.
But what's the difference between if you get a solid out of milk when you remove the water?
Okay, fine, I'm convinced. Cereal's a soup.
Well, yeah, you gave up on that too easy.
I tried, but you broke my mind.
Okay. Thoughts on Donald Trump? Go.
He's a pet. He's something that can be turned into molded and turned into a sculpture of madness, and that's all he can be turned into. Madness. Try and make anything else, you'll just get nothing. Donald's just being right now controlled by a tech guy. That's it. A tech guy that tries to go into space but fails, that also has cars. Because he's making most of the shots here.
Are you talking about
Also,
Elon
Trump
Musk?
says billions a lot.
Does he say billions a lot?
Yes.
What about trillions?
He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that much.
Is Trump a billionaire?
I'd hope not. But he probably is that he's a content maker of sorts, because he goes on to sadly he works in a job of being on TV, or used to. So I think Trump's just a star.
Does he own businesses?
I'd say that most of the businesses would be controlled by Elon Musk, but other than that, I'd say no.
Well, he does own his own businesses. He owns a bunch of real estate. So in your opinion, is he a business owner, or is he a character like on TV?
Business. No. Yeah, business, because he's a business.
You don't think he's more of an actor than a? Do you think he's more of an actor or more of a businessman?
Actually, I think he's an actor because he acts he acts whenever he's on it, because he always looks like he's trying to read the Bible, but it's actually upside down. But he makes it pretty promising that he is.
Pretty convincing.
I mean, if people didn't zoom in and see that, oh, he's reading it upside down.
Okay. Next question. Actually, this is going to be a series of questions.
This entire episode's a Q&A, by the way.
I know it is. Well, it is, but there's a couple of questions I have to ask you, and then you have to give me a response.
Okay.
Did you know, Beckham, that I'm never going to give you up? I'm never going to let you down. And I'm never going to run around and desert you.
And I'm never going to hurt you.
I'm never going to make you cry.
Never going to say goodbye.
What? Dang it, you caught me after the first verse.
Huh?
I said you caught me after the first verse. I wasn't able to rickroll you.
Exactly.
I thought that joke was gonna run a little bit longer.
I would have been mad if he rickrolled me, because games have done that to me, of where I scan a QR code and then it puts me to the rickroll.
Do you know his whole name? What's his whole name?
Rick Astley.
Okay. Next question. What do you know about Hantavirus?
Hantavirus? You know, if I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't go near rats.
Near what?
I don't like going near rats at start, because 1, they already carry a bunch of diseases, and 2, they still are pretty bad, but Hantavirus is just a cherry on the top.
Why is that?
Because it kills people just as much as anything that the rat spreads.
How does it kill people?
It infects them, makes them feel sick until makes them sick until they die. Do
you know how it's spread?
No.
You don't know. Is it spread by rats or mice?
Mice.
Okay. Did you know somebody just died of Hantavirus?
Really?
I think they found out it was in Arizona. It was Gene Hackman's they'd both passed away, but yeah, someone just died of Hantavirus. And it's spread through either their urine or their poop. So you don't want to ever clean up mouse droppings in areas where Hantavirus exists.
Ew.
Okay. Next question. Do stairs go up or down?
They go both ways. Because you could say that they go up, because they literally go up. They have a diagonal way up, but they also have a diagonal way down. So technically, they're a bit of both.
So are they, instead of being they're bidirectional?
Yeah, they are. They're bidirectional.
You don't want to make stairs choose which direction they are. They should be able to choose in their own time whether they go up or go down.
See, escalators are a different thing, though. Because escalators go one way or the other. They go up. If they go up, then they go up, and they'll always go up. But if they go down, they're going to go down, and they're always going to go down.
Okay, let's see here. What do you know about Russia?
It's a corrupt government.
Why do you think that?
Because his leader's actually been in presidency for 16 years or something now, and let me just say the president isn't a good man.
Who's the president?
This feels like a curse if I say it. Vladimir Putin.
What else do you know about Russia other than Vladimir Putin and you feel like it's a corrupt country?
That that they actually have the highest chance of a state splitting off from them or rebelling because they just have horrible things.
You think that people would defect from the country out of it?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Well, first of all, like I said, corrupt thing that nobody likes, and two, because Russia's a big country. They wouldn't think that splitting off will do anything.
So, what else do you know about Russia? Anything? Just that it's corrupt and Vladimir Putin is the worst?
Yeah! Vladimir Putin is the Russian Trump.
How do you feel about Dolph Lundgren?
Who the heck is he?
Yeah.
He sounds like a curse word or a diss of sorts.
Have you ever seen the Rocky movies?
No.
Never mind then. Moving on. Wasn't sure. What is the worst song ever?
I just can't express, but I feel like it's not Never Gonna Give You Up because one, that is a good song, but it just is used as some kind of attack. You know what the worst song is? It's YouTuber songs. And the number one worst YouTuber songs is I'm in the Thick of It.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Do you want to hear it?
Not during the show, no.
No.
What about It's Friday? Do you remember that one? That was a meme. It was a really bad video.
Really? Can you sing it?
Well, it was like the girl was like way off key and it was her rich parents paid for her to have a music video and then it went viral on YouTube for being so bad.
I feel like it's gonna be fun if I see it.
So, popular song that's made it onto like the radio, worst song.
Well, the worst song that I've ever heard on the radio is Blue Sky.
I don't know which one's that?
Blue sky, a little dream.
I don't know.
So yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's not the worst song I've ever heard, but if you really want to annoy people, I think Chumbawamba Tub Thumping
What the heck?
drives people absolutely crazy. They hate that song.
You have to hear that.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. This is really bad.
It'll be funny.
It's really catchy, but it's really like some people are like, please stop playing that song.
It's like the movie Click. Like, people don't like it, but they'll meme it.
Okay. Last question for this segment of the show. It's a serious one, probably close to your heart. If a zombie apocalypse happens, will vegan zombies refuse to eat brains?
Okay, well, first of all, zombies are either from the dead, so they probably won't remember their past, or if it's spread by a virus, it just does something weird to their neural connections and basically makes it so that they feel no pain, and all they want to do is spread it by saliva, by biting, and, occasionally eating. It just messes with your neural networks and makes you, move your body, even if you don't want to do it. So, yeah, they would still eat people. Not if they wanted to, but if they had some kind of, nerves of steel that, the virus can't. They can just defend off anything and make it so that if they don't want to do it, they can. That's another story, because then they wouldn't. But I don't think that would happen.
Okay. And last question, should vegans eat fungus like mushrooms? Because sometimes fungus acts almost like something that's got a conscience or a brain, and it's not even in the plant kingdom. So then,
Yeah, it's in its own kingdom. It's not in the animal kingdom. It's not in the plant kingdom. But I do remember one that's
the
yellow
fifth kingdom.
mold. Huh?
It's the fifth kingdom.
Why is it the fifth?
Because there's 4 others.
I didn't know there were 4 others.
So anyways, what were you saying about yellow mold?
So there's this yellow mold that actually uses sodium channels that so it can pulsate and reach out to stuff. So if it wants to go to one place quicker because that has the more food, it'll channel the sodium into that one part and then try and reach out for it. That's how they kind of work. But yeah, they kind of do have a sentience. They can talk with trees and talk with their other thing with their mycelium layers. And
So should vegans be eating them?
They don't have feelings though. They don't care if they die. So I'd say it's okay because they just don't want to be cruel.
Okay. With that, we'll end this segment. We'll be back for our next set of 10 questions. And thanks. And we'll be back in a minute.
Yes.
All right. And we are back for our second half. So I'm actually going to go back and revisit 2 of our questions. You went back and listened to Friday and tub thumping, which is worse. It's Friday.
It's going to be tomorrow, Friday, when we're recording this. No, wait, no.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
So which one you think?
Oh, I think Friday's worse.
Can you sing? Actually, sing both of them for us. Can you sing both of them for us?
No. Okay, I can sing It's Friday, but I can't do...
Sing it just like her.
It's Friday, Friday, gonna get it's Friday.
That's
It's a good comparison.
What about tub thumping? Can you sing tub thumping?
Scuba, 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 scuba.
Okay.
Whiskey
Now,
drinker,
serious
cider drinker. Whiskey drinker, cider drinker. Yep.
Serious question.
Mm-hmm.
If the zombies were actually zombies that were infected by cordyceps, like in The Last of Us,
Yeah.
then would the vegans refuse to eat them if they're mostly fungus instead of person, like in The Last of Us?
Again, they mess with their neural networks and make them, do it through saliva and stuff, so... It's basically the same thing. They still do it by getting close and stuff and, biting. So technically, no. No.
What are your thoughts on cordyceps? What do you know about cordyceps, Beckham?
Okay, so there are actually 2 species. One is species of ants. That one is where it gets infected by, an ant gets infected and it does its normal thing. But soon it spreads up to its brain. So then it tries to go to the highest blade of grass, bite down, and then the sprout shoots up from its head and sends the spores down on the rest of the group. Tarantulas, it's the same thing.
Okay, so it's a fungus that infects them and turns them into zombies.
It's Friday.
All right.
Friday.
Now a real serious question.
Okay.
See? Earwig. Both of them are earwigs. Now you're singing It's Friday.
God.
No. Okay, we gotta get serious. Who would win in a fight? Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk?
Elon Musk would sick one of their AI dogs into Zuckerberg.
No, I mean like a fist fight or like judo or something. This is a serious question. They actually had this
Zuckerberg
debate.
then.
You think Zuckerberg would beat up Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is just some guy who has robots. He's nothing without it.
What
It's
about
like saying, hey, put basically just remove antlers from moose and leather from moose. What do you get? A skin bag. Not even a skin bag, just a meat bag. Just a lump of meat.
There you go. Okay. Now, actual kind of a serious question, but I want to hear what your opinion actually is on this.
Okay.
Should transgender people be allowed to participate in college women's sports and professional women's sports?
Well, kind of, let's see. If they're basically as strong as a man would be, then no, they should participate if that was the case in the men's sport. If they're as strong as a woman, do whatever. Do whatever.
How would you measure whether they're as strong as a man or as strong as a woman?
Lift weights.
Is there another way you could measure that?
Yeah, you can measure how fast they run and stuff.
I don't know. There's some pretty fast women out there that could actually beat most men.
You have a point. Yeah, actually, you have a really good point.
So what's your thoughts? Should they or shouldn't they?
Should not. Just like, cool, you're trans, but you still have to participate in the same sport.
So, okay, so you don't think that they should?
Yes, I don't think they should.
There are some people that are born with extra chromosomes and like so some weird edge cases where they're actually like they didn't undergo surgery, but they may be like an XXY or there's like chromosomal stuff that can happen, and there's also hormone imbalances and things like that. So what can you come up with a solution if you don't think that they should? How would you determine that they shouldn't be allowed to?
Well, you just say, hey, bud, you're a man, right?
You don't just say, hey, bud. No. You gotta, come on. You're that's not even trying. What? There's got to be a way.
You
What would you
participate normally?
Well, there would have to be something. You need something measurable, right?
It doesn't need measuring. You say, hey, you're a man, right? Participate in men's. But you're trans. Oh, but you're still technically as, like, you've been training and you're very strong, which, not to be sexist, but I think you'd take silver, gold, and bronze in one fell swoop.
So you've determined that, right? But sometimes it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, so you just
What
have
would
to
be
be
your
fair.
like?
You
Because
have to be fair with the rest of everybody else. Like you
It
can't
has to
just
be
say,
fair.
"I'm a woman."
Well, what? I guess this is a better question outside of
Because-
the physiological things that make a man and a woman a woman. Are there other things that determine that?
I mean, yeah, it could be the hormones in your brains or whatever, but it
So-
doesn't.
So do you think they should measure hormone levels then? Like testosterone and stuff like that?
Yeah. You have a really good point there.
I was asking you, not me.
But yeah, that is actually what should have that is actually a really good point in that yeah, I think that they could test brain and hormone levels so that they could see, oh, you're man? Okay. Or you're trans, like you're a woman, but you have hormonal amounts of men features, so over there. Oh, you're a man, but you have hormone levels of women. Go over there.
Well, so let me ask you a better question.
Yes.
What if you have someone who was born as a man? They've undergone everything to become a woman. They've even done hormone treatments, and they've reduced like their hormone levels as much as they can. Should they be? So where should they participate in sports? Like, how would you solve that?
Then at that point, we just put them of where they wanted to be.
But what if they've banned those people from female sports?
Then they're screwed. They can't play in the Olympics. Sorry.
Well, come on. That's not a good... You should try to come up with a solution. Is there a way that you could solve that problem?
No.
You shouldn't say no.
I mean, you have to be fair with everybody else.
So, what
yes,
do you
you
think?
are a special snowflake,
if you're trying to be,
but don't act like a special snowflake.
So if you're trying to be fair to everyone, and you only have men's sports and women's sports, what do you do? Like,
Well, if you're putting it in like that, then you do the trans sports. 3 sports a year. Every 4 years. Oh, a men's sport, cool. Men's, women's sport, right there. Trans sport, right there.
could work too. I'm asking you because there's not a good answer to this. So, I mean, like our governor, Gavin Newsom, just came out against transgender women in
Isn't he
women's
the guy who
sports.
doesn't believe in vaccines?
No, Gavin Newsom. No, Gavin Newsom is a Democrat. He's a well-established Democrat, but he is one of the first Democrats, like mainstream Democrats, to come out and say that transgender women shouldn't participate in women's sports. But the point of that is that there's not a clean answer to that, and nobody's really offering a solution for folks for transgender women, or for that matter, they're not offering a solution for transgender men either. So, you know, it's less of an issue for transgender men, but yeah, I wanted to ask you because nobody's really come up with a good solution yet. Okay, you ready for this next question?
Yep.
What superhero or villain would make the best therapist?
Okay, so the best superhero would probably not...
As a therapist.
As a therapist, the best superhero as a therapist would be Spider-Man.
You think so?
I mean, he has to suffer PTSD. He's gotten more than enough therapy to pass it on, so...
Doesn't he just clown people a lot, though? Like crack jokes?
I mean, he doesn't in his normal job.
Well, this would be his normal job. He's a therapist.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's not a superhero anymore. He's a therapist.
He'd probably take this more seriously.
You think so?
He doesn't want somebody to laugh about his Uncle Ben's death, so why would...
I mean, he's laughing while he's saving the world from supervillains. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, that's probably a way to cover up stress or something.
So would he need a therapist to become a therapist? That's my next question.
He has therapy. He needs therapy. But in Spider-Man 2, he got over therapy and yeah. Yeah.
All right. There's no wrong answers. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here too. So,
I'd say Joker would be a good therapist.
why are you picking all the ones that are actually dysfunctional? Like they communicate dysfunctionally. They're like, oh, they'd be a good therapist. One guy like covers up all of his trauma by joking and like clowning around, and the other guy is like literally the Joker.
He's literally insane.
Okay, I think we're gonna move on from that.
No, he would be, actually, though.
All right. Okay, this is a good one. What is one thing you wish existed but does not at the moment?
Okay.
Thinking future-wise, like what futuristic
Cold
thing?
fusion!
Cold fusion? Well, aren't we kind of already doing cold fusion? Is it cold fusion?
Nope, cold fusion. Nope, that's...
So we're just doing normal fusion? What's the
Yeah.
difference between cold fusion and normal fusion?
Well, fusion is a lot more dangerous because if it explodes, well, it's going to be very hot. Well, cold fusion isn't that explosive. So if it fails, it'll just not do much.
Okay. Has anybody created that in a lab?
No.
Why cold fusion? Like, why not like rocket boots?
Rocket boots will rip your rip your legs off.
Okay.
They would.
Well, so cold fusion's your answer for something that doesn't exist. Do you have anything else that doesn't exist at the moment that you think it should?
DNA splicing for humans that can give them traits.
There was a weird movie about that called Splice. I don't know that I'd want that. So you want them so that people can have like wings and stuff like that?
Yeah, they could have wings, they could make webbing, they could carry 50 times their own body weight. Ants have that ability. So they could like pick their ability that they want.
Let's see here. Okay. Our next question. We're tearing through these questions this time around.
Yeah.
If you could interview anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Do they have to be alive?
No. Well, let's answer that. It's a two-stage question. Someone who's alive and someone who is no longer.
Okay, so someone who is alive, I'd probably consult. Actually, a really good one. I'd probably consult Elon Musk and say, why is he doing this right now? Why? And I'd say to Albert Einstein.
Why is he doing what?
Why is he doing everything that he is doing with Trumper?
And what is he doing? What do you feel like he's doing?
He's playing around with him and manipulating him into doing stuff for his own goodwill, like to help him.
You think he's manipulating Trump, or you just think that Elon Musk is getting to do whatever he wants?
He's getting to do whatever he wants by manipulating Trump.
So you just want to ask him why he's doing the things he's doing with the government?
Yeah, and maybe give him therapy or something to help him.
But you want to interview him, you're not a therapist.
I know, I want to interview him.
Okay.
And then tell him why.
Okay.
Tell us why. Why did you do that?
And then
You were our best democratic tech guy. But now you're making us go alone.
So that's probably a real question. You want to know why he was a strong Democrat when he started like Tesla and then flipped to being a hardcore
just
Republican?
On a dime too. That's the thing. He did it overnight.
I mean, that's not a bad question. Okay. What about passed away or no longer alive?
Albert Einstein. I wanted to consult with him because there's a rumor that he actually said to President Roosevelt to start making a nuke soon because whatchamacallit's name, the guy in World War II in Germany, Hitler, because Hitler's already trying to make one.
So
there are some rumors. So I want to say,
you know that Albert Einstein was German, right?
Yeah.
And then he defected and came here.
Yeah.
So
did you say to Roosevelt, Hitler's being is already trying to make an H-bomb of sorts so that they can nuke somebody, so you have to do it before? Because there are rumors spreading around, but also he was a pacifist normally.
Yeah, I mean, he may have been a pacifist and
also, how did he why was the reason how did he get up with the E=mc squared? When did it click and why did it click?
So how did he come up with that?
Yeah, and why did it just did some sort of event happen, or did it just appear in your mind?
Well, he was a child prodigy, so he was from a young age was an incredibly smart person and was exceptionally gifted in mathematics.
He had a wrinkly brain.
Probably did have a wrinkly brain. Yeah. So, I mean, he came up with that just because he was an incredibly brilliant person and was a savant. I don't know if savant's the right word, but he was very gifted at a very young age. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
Wish I could be him. Nope.
So you wanted to interview him?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Next question. We're on question 16, by the way, so we have 5 more to go. What animal would make the worst pet, and why?
A diamondback rattlesnake.
Why is that?
Kills you in one bite. So if they ever
Diamondbacks can't kill you in one bite.
Huh?
Diamondbacks can't kill you in one bite. You would most likely survive a rattlesnake bite.
Diamondback rattlesnake. It's a type.
Are you talking about a Mojave Green?
I heard that the diamondback rattlesnakes have one of the most potent bites.
No, you are misinformed on that one, unfortunately. Mojave greens are worse for sure, but most rattlesnakes and Mojave greens you could die from. At least I've heard. But
Oh.
a Western diamondback is not is like Daddy knows a couple of people that have been bitten by the Western diamondback, so you don't die from those. Yeah. So what else do you think?
I think a dingo.
Go. Why? Because it might eat your baby?
Yeah, did the dingo eat your baby? No, but they're just horrible on their own.
Terrible pets, huh? Like, so you just a dingo. You wouldn't think like a skunk or like.
Skunks do that when they're scared. I think if they were your pet, they'd trust you better.
Well, they just try to be better. They tried not to do it.
Yeah, they'd know better that, like, oh, my owner hates that. He might kill me if I do that, because I'm always around him.
What about an electric eel?
You know, if you just keep it in a tank and stay far away from it, and let it swim around, you're good.
What about
I'd like to.
What about a blue ring octopus?
You're really asking one of the a very, 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 very poisonous octopus?
I'm trying to come up with terrible pets. Of course, I'm going to ask those questions. What
I
about a black
know.
mamba?
The black mamba? Well, no. It'll constrict you and kill you and bite you. Yeah. Bite, constrict, kill.
Okay. So, what's your final answer on that? Dingo?
Dingo.
Okay.
Good dingo.
Who would win in a fight? Arnold Schwarzenegger or a grizzly bear?
I mean, he killed Terminator.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator. Who's the
What?
original Terminator?
He was the original?
Yeah. And then he came back as like the good guy in the second Terminator.
Oh, okay. So I think he'd be able, because he did actually beat it up in the second one either way. So yeah, he would kill a bear because he killed Terminator.
Did you know he used to be the governor of California at one point?
I did. You know, I went to the Supreme Court in
And what? Was his picture up
California. So, or the white place in Sacramento.
there? You went to the Sacramento Supreme Court. Was his picture up there or something?
Yeah, his picture was up there.
Did you know that he was the governor before that?
No. If I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea.
Did that surprise you?
Oh, a reality TV show guy got elected, so that didn't.
You mean Trump? So it didn't
Yeah.
surprise you that many years
No.
ago Arnold I guess that's a good answer.
That is.
Yes, we do have a reality TV show person as our president. Touche. Okay. All right, next question.
Okay.
What's the weirdest dream you've had?
Weirdest dream one I've had is actually a lucid dream of one of where, like, I knew I was real, like, not of where I was, like, in a dream, and I'm like, I don't want to be in a dream. I want to be awake at the time that I'm supposed to wake up. So that I'm like, 3, 2, 1, wake up, and I did wake up. Funny enough. And
So you woke yourself up from a lucid dream?
yes.
Okay. That is kind of weird. Okay. Last two questions.
Okay.
What is the worst
Olive.
Really?
It's just an add-on. You know, they do the thing of where, like, you have to stick something in between and add the olive on top. It makes the thing greasy.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Sweet pickles. I remember there was one time, like, I ordered a burger from Carl's Jr., and I didn't know they put sweet pickles on their burgers. It was like the worst experience ever. Terrible. I hate sweet pickles.
Nope. That's bad.
The worst sandwich ever is Miracle Whip, sweet pickles, American cheese, and then putting like a cheap ham or something like that on it. Actually, you know what? If you put the ham on, it improves it. I think if you just made a sandwich of Miracle Whip, American cheese, like the plastic cheese stuff, and sweet pickles, that would pretty much be the worst sandwich ever.
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
Okay. Last question.
Okay.
Serious question. Do you think that Donald Trump will try and run for a third term?
He can't.
Says who?
The law.
What if he decides to change the law?
He can't.
What if he doesn't care and just breaks the law like he's done a couple of times?
Technically, he can't do that. The Supreme Court guys, like the Supreme Court, needs to do that. So, no.
Didn't he appoint a lot of the people on the Supreme Court?
That's true. Oh, God. We actually might be in for a third trip. 8 years of not doing the pledge. Woo!
How do you think they would stop him? Do you think they would try and stop him? What do you think? Do you think
They
that somebody would try and
after
stop
they
him?
realized of what monster they've created.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you have faith in the U.S. government that they would stop it?
Need from me. Yes.
All right. Well, then with that, we're going to end our 8th episode here. Per our usual, I'm Beckham. Will you read us out?
Okay. Today's show was produced by Beckham and Brett. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Please subscribe to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. Reach out with any questions, comments, or potential topics. We will respond. Have a great week.